Hi, my name is Adele Rawlinson and I'm going to show you the basics of a technique called Emotional Freedom Techniques, otherwise known as EFT or tapping. Now, EFT works on the basis that the cause of all negative emotion is a disruption in the body's energy system. So by simply tapping on certain key meridian points, you can align that energy. So for the purpose of this film, let's take, for example, anxiety, perhaps. Anxiety over an interview. Many people, they think about a job interview and they get this anxious feeling. So we'll talk about anxiety for an interview. First of all, you need to rate the anxiety. 0 being not anxious at all, with 10 being really, really anxious. So rate the problem. A good way to do this would be to close your eyes and to just imagine being in that situation. Rate the anxiety, the intensity of the emotion that you feel. So for example, say we're on a 10, we're really, really anxious about this interview. So you rate the problem. That's stage 1. Stage 2, you actually do what's called the setup. Now the setup involves tapping on the karate point. That's just the fleshy part there that a karate expert would chop the wood or whatever. So you tap on this point here. Now whilst tapping on this point, you have to say a sentence 3 times. Now this is a setup sentence that basically enables you to tap into the problem and just say, yeah, I have this problem, but I'm okay. Now that setup statement always starts with, even though I, and finishes with, I completely and totally accept myself. So for example for this, we might say, even though I have this anxiety over this interview tomorrow, I completely and I totally accept myself. So even though I have this anxiety over this interview tomorrow, I completely and I totally accept myself. So even though I have this anxiety over this interview tomorrow, I completely and I totally accept myself. 3 times. The more emphatically you can say that, the better. It's like saying, I'm excited, or I'm excited. It really gets into your physiology. So you say that 3 times, and that's the setup. The next stage would be the sequence. Now, the sequence is a set of tapping on certain various points, while actually saying a couple of words that really reflect what we're doing here. It would be, for this case example, it would be this anxiety, because we're talking about this anxiety. So these are the points first of all. The first one, you tap with 2 fingers. It can be the left or the right, incidentally. It doesn't matter. Use your dominant hand. First one, start of the eyebrow, outer eye, under the eye. You can actually feel the bones there where you should be tapping. Under the nose, under the lip, just above the chin. We call this a chin point, but it's the fleshy part here. Next one, the collarbone. Now, basically, if you do this where you would knot a tie, you will hit that point. And the last one is underneath the arm. Use your hand for that one. Ladies, on your bra strap, men just in line with your nipple. So there's these various different points. So we would go, this anxiety, several times. This anxiety, this anxiety, this anxiety, this anxiety, this anxiety, this anxiety. Stop, take a deep breath, and then just re-rate the intensity of the problem. Now, for this purpose, yeah, it's gone down a little bit. Maybe I've gone from a 10 down to a 7. So we do the whole thing again, but we just focus on the fact that it's actually come down a little bit. So we would say, even though I still have some of this anxiety, I completely and totally accept myself. Even though I still have some of this anxiety, I completely and I totally accept myself. Even though I still have some of this anxiety, I completely and totally accept myself. And then again, remaining anxiety, remaining anxiety, remaining anxiety, through all the points, remaining anxiety, remaining anxiety, remaining anxiety, and remaining anxiety. Check it again, it's come down maybe to about a 4, remaining anxiety. Just keep doing this until you get it down to a 0. Be persistent, that's the key to this thing. Now, if you find that it hasn't reduced, now, the usual cause of this is that you've been too global. You're not being specific enough about the issue that you have. For example, with the anxiety, you have anxiety about the interview, but part of that might be a fear of rejection, even though I have this fear of rejection, or it could be, even though I'm scared I might start sweating, or I'm scared I might not know what to say. All these different parts of the problem need to be catered for. So give it a go, see how you do, tell your friends, tell your family, just do it and be persistent, and I'm sure you'll be amazed with the results.